Hi there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Spirosophy, where spirituality and philosophy meet. Today, I wanted to talk about the Earth, this big planet that we live on, and how we operate within this planet. See, at the dawn of life on Earth, there was this hot and murky swamp, and one-celled organisms were the first life forms that emerged from this swamp. And from that point, they started splitting, growing, forming together into more and more complex structures. Then these one-celled organisms turned into, bigger organisms. As human beings, our bodies are full of cells. They're full of small individual parts doing their own jobs and having their own functions. Where we have millions of cells within us, be it bacteria, other microbes, blood cells, hemoglobin. The list is almost endless. What a lot of these cells don't know, though, is that they're part of a bigger whole. They're part of a bigger system. I doubt it that one of my blood cells going through my aorta right now, for example, knows that it's part of me as a body, that it knows that it's part of me as a living being. And just like these cells in our bodies, I think that we as humans are part of a bigger organism as well. Just as how you have the individual sheep and then you have the herd, or you have a single bird and then you have a flock. You have a bee and you have a beehive. And the herd has a mind of its own. The beehive has a mind of its own. That's why you have the term hive mind. Also, when you see, I don't know what the birds are called, but you can see them a lot in cities. They swarm together in flocks and make the most beautiful figures and forms. It's amazing. And again, I'm wondering if this one bird in that flock knows what it's doing, if it knows that it's part of this gigantic big movement when this flock is flying together in this acrobatic form. And then the same applies to us. I mean, we're aware, we're conscious of the fact that we're living as a society and that we make choices as a society, and we have groups and subgroups and movements and divisions within our society, all being, once again, these individual cells being part of a group and making the group move, pushing the group forward to some place. But I think it's even grander than that. I think if we look at the Earth as a whole, everything that's happening under the ozone layer is part of this gigantic living collective of organisms. And the Earth itself is the mothership. It's the mothership. And it's our safe haven of life. It's that which allows us all to thrive. But we usually don't see it in this way. And that's why I think we're starting to get more and more disconnected from the world. Starting to get more disconnected from other animals, other species, the plant life around us, forests, you name it. There's life everywhere, everywhere. But all that we're focusing on now is, or just ourselves, this one little cell over here, or we're just focusing on a group of people. And that's not it. That's not all there is. The Earth is there to supply us with the things we need to survive, just as we, as a body, supply ourselves with food in order to survive. And if we break this system, just like a cell within our bodies that starts splitting and forms into a tumor that eventually chews away our whole bodies, if we keep putting this amount of stress on the Earth, we're going to break down that body. So I think that what needs to happen is that we need to gain more awareness of being part of something bigger, of being part of something that extends just ourselves, and being humble enough to acknowledge that we're just a cell, a tiny little cell in that gigantic process. And when we do that, when we see that, there's no other way than that we're going to want to benefit the world. We're going to want to help the world, because we know that when the entire organism is prospering and thriving, then we will thrive and prosper as well. So I hope this message gets heard. I hope a lot of you take something away from this. I hope it's of some worth, because it is something that I really care about. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you guys in the next vid. Peace.